What's up? Hey, nice shirt. Oh yeah, some moron forgot to pack an extra one so we could sell the bid. What an idiot. What are we working on? We're gonna do something a little different today and review a car. Okay, like a P9? I mean, I haven't shot anything by them before. No, like a real car. Yeah, I get it. Steel frame is like their roots. I just think that single stack is hard to sell these days. K-A-H-R. C-A-R. Car. Oh, that. Okay, I thought just someone left it there. Yeah, I mean, we've been wanting to do a car review. Why not? Why not?
A wonderful and very sudden opportunity fell in my lap recently to test Cadillac's first fully electric vehicle. And while this channel is usually dedicated to internal combustion, I just couldn't say no. So the Lyriq, spelled with a Q, not a C, which is neat I guess, is an SUV, wagony, EV thing. Prices start at $57,000 for the rear-wheel drive model with 340 horsepower and 325 foot-pounds of torque, which doesn't sound like a lot for a car weighing over 5,500 pounds. The all-wheel drive model starts at 62 and gets a pretty meaningful bump to 500 horsepower, 450 foot-pounds of torque, and a meaningful bump in weight that puts it near an Escalade. What we have here is a rear-wheel drive model spec'd to $62,000, and I was interested to see if it could win me over in the very brief but revelatory time that I had it. So buckle up for my first car review, go easy on me. Looks-wise, I think Cadillac did an excellent job. It has a very wonderful presence that's sophisticated, sporty, and futuristic without going overboard. The proportions make it appear lower and longer than it is, despite being the same height as a Model Y and an inch shorter than a Model X. The long hood is partially responsible for this and continues its arc across the body, not unlike a Rolls-Royce Ghost, giving it a powerful Grand Touring vibe and some sporty details sprinkled in like a ducktail spoiler. There's a good amount of usable space, and underneath is some usable storage for emergency roadside kit. Lighting is well executed too. LEDs nearly cover the huge grille fascia like a Daft Punk helmet, long taillights sweep up into the roof, and the door buttons illuminate in case you're farsighted enough to find your car, but not the door. The charging port also opens with the press of an emblem, but I feel like it's a little jittery and cheap for a luxury vehicle.
Mic test. Whew, the beeps and bongs. They never cease.
Lots of space.
Lots of beeps and bongs. All right, so right off the bat, this is a very nice place to be. I really like the interior layout. I like the controls. I like that the LCD is not just a giant iPad that's stuck up on top of the dash. This flows really well. I love the tapered edges, and you'll find these in a lot of the newer Cadillacs. Like the Escalade was one of the first ones to show this off. Buttons, switches, physical things. The only thing I found so far that I would use semi-regularly is the glove box, which is a digital button. So if you are concealed carry, and for any reason you need to leave your something like that in a vehicle, getting into a glove box quickly or just easily, you know, seems like something that's worthwhile. I love the materials. There's a lot of wood grain, brushed metal, geometric, extruded metal. There's nothing that's chromed per se. This is the shiniest metal here on these toggle switches, which I really like. They give a satisfying click, they're easy to use. Initially, I thought the steering wheel didn't come close enough. This is as far out as it comes, but I like it here. Also, I really like the shape of the steering wheel. It's pretty meaty. And then there's a display right here. I believe it's just a light that gives you feedback on Super Cruise, but Super Cruise is not working in this vehicle currently, nor is the native GPS. I think it has to do with the Wi-Fi hotspot that's on board is not working currently. This is a demo vehicle, and I'm sure that they're addressing that. Glass roof, it's super bright, lets a lot of light in, it certainly helps for filming. And there's just something else about it that just feels very premium.
It's the smell.
Now, if you're watching this and you're still thinking like, what is going on? He's talking about Cadillac this, EV that. He's like, it's only $62,000. I understand. But you know what is a great value proposition at any price point? The product's made by XStar USA, and conveniently, they are the sponsor of this channel. Rain or shine, they're wonderful people. They reside in truth, and they're masters of their craft. And I really enjoy their products. Check them out at xstarusa.com. They make some spicy bets, and I'm not gonna go into too much detail, just, you know, do some scouting of your own. Also make sure to like and comment. Commenting helps us out, helps me out. I don't know who's us. Who else is here? Hello? Comment whether or not you think car videos should reside here or if they should find their own home.
And of course, this video wouldn't have been possible without the helpful people over at Cadillac of Murfreesboro who provided the 2023 Lyriq for this review. If you're in the market for a new Cadillac, GMC, Buick, or Chevrolet, make sure to check them out. I thought they were very helpful people, and I look forward to working with them again in the future. Also, thanks to Nashville Cars and Coffee for making that connection happen. Honestly, the timing was perfect. I've been wanting to get into car reviews for a while, and it was amazing how well it worked out. It was an answer to prayer, honestly.
I'm just gonna go ahead and come to a stop here. Just do a little bit of brake. And, yep. Oh, she gets up, she gets up, she gets up. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't slow. The regenerative braking is very sensitive. So, I mean, you get up to a turn, you go to regenerative brake, and it'll bring you to a stop quick. All right, let's see how she does on the freeway. I'm interested to see what the road noise is like. And there's that acceleration. Okay, so it really got up and goes. Oh man, I mean, it's still pulling. I respect Cadillac for going more on the luxury side and not feeling like they had to make a very stiff car. So this is a very comfortable car. It does not feel underpowered with 340 horsepower. I can only imagine what the 500 horsepower version feels like, and it seems like every time a new electric car comes out, they've got 1,000 horsepower. And that's fine. I am not trying to ration power. But this shows that 340 horsepower is more than enough for a 5,700 pound vehicle, and it's not just quick off a start. I mean, at freeway speeds where I am right now, there is no lack of power. I've been able to maneuver traffic, get around slow cars, accelerate. I use the regenerative braking. The regenerative braking is a little sensitive, especially at lower speeds, because it doesn't have as much momentum to absorb, so it just kind of hits you hard. But I've learned to use it a lot better, and I think, man, I've only had this car for a couple days, and I've gotten used to it a lot. I've been in some quick cars recently. One of my friends, who we'll hear from in a little bit, has a GT500. That thing is quick. 340 horsepower is enough for this vehicle. Enough! To my buddy Wes, he's helping me film today. He is what I would call a red-blooded American. Tell us the vehicles that you own right now.
So currently on a 2022 GT500 and a 2004 SVT Cobra.
And you looked at me and you said, I'd drive this.
I would drive it.
I would drive this every day.
For everyday use, I would definitely drive it. Because when I first walked out of the house and you parked it in the driveway, I walked out, I was like, geez, that's a Cadillac. And you know me, like I love horsepower, but like I said, I would drive this for everyday use. I would 100% drive it around town. Even if I was commuting, I would drive it.
Just any other closing comments you want to make?
Yeah, absolutely. Raise hell, praise Dale.
Now, while I didn't test the range of the vehicle, it is rated at 308 miles for the rear-wheel drive model and 307 for the all-wheel drive model, which is more than enough for the kind of driving I do. In fact, I could drive to the factory where this vehicle was assembled and back several times because it's only 40 miles away in Spring Hill, Tennessee. I love a vehicle that's domestically assembled, and I think they did a great job on it.
All right, so let's go through a quick pros and cons summary. So, pro. I think this car looks fantastic. I think the design language, the evolution of art and science that Cadillac introduced back in 2003 with the CTS is alive and well with great evolutions of that style, but it's very futuristic without going overboard, and it works. A con is that this car harasses you all the time. It beeps and it bongs and it shows messages about stuff all the time. And I just want this car to leave me alone. I'm an adult, and if I want to open my door with my seatbelt off in a parking lot just for a sec, or if I want to just, I don't know, I want to be able to do what I want without being harassed. Another pro, though, is just that I think everything on the inside works. We had talked about designing the exterior, but the interior really works well, too. It's a comfortable place to be. It's well laid out. But along with that is another con. This car is unnecessarily complex. There are so many features and options that are hidden in menus, and I struggle knowing that there are probably things that I don't like about this car, like the beeps and the bongs, that maybe I can disable by finding them in the menus, but I may never. And I think we have to be honest with ourselves about the demographic of this car, that Cadillac buyers have traditionally been older, and I know they're trying to change that. You're doing a great job with inspiring people through motorsports. Congratulations to Cadillac for their third and fourth place finish in 24-hour Le Mans. I watched a lot of that race, really enjoyed it. I like Cadillac. One of my favorite cars is the second generation CTS-V wagon. I hope to have one of those one day, but a lot of other people still think of them as old man cars unless they're talking about the Escalade. And unfortunately, if anybody but the traditional Escalade buyer gets in here, they are never gonna figure out how to open that glove box, ever. I didn't even know there was a glove box until yesterday when I was going through the menus and I was like, what? Boop, opened. And so I think that's a downfall. I think that they need to simplify, make things easier, more accessible. You don't win through the amount of features that you can offer. You win through the amount of features that you can make easily accessible and things that people will use on a daily basis.
In conclusion, I think the Cadillac Lyriq represents the first major EV contender for General Motors between the less desirable but more affordable Chevrolet Bolt and the ridiculous six-figure Hummer EV, and I think it's a win for the company overall.
So thanks for watching, and remember that citizenship matters. I know it seems like it matters less and less each day, and I'm not trying to get into that separate debate, but you know, if you're a citizen, for instance, of the United States, there are inalienable rights that are afforded to you that are protected by people who died in countries, hellholes on the other side of the planet. But America's not going to be around forever. I hate to say it. So where your true identity should reside is in something that can't be taken away, that the sun will not set on. Philippians 3:20 says that we are citizens of heaven. And if you consider yourself a citizen of heaven, then there are certain rights that are afforded to you. There are things that are promised to you that you might see on this plane of existence or the next. But I think the real call to action there is that we need to act like it. The greatest single cause of atheism in the world today is Christians who acknowledge Jesus with their lips and walk out the door and deny him by their lifestyle. That is what an unbelieving world simply finds unbelievable. So yeah, evil flourishes and it goes unpunished. But that's because the citizens of heaven have forgotten who they are. We are living with amnesia. And I think that's one of the greatest struggles and one of the greatest plagues of humans today is amnesia. We can learn something that matters and forget it a minute later, and we're focused on stuff, cars, houses, accolades, popularity, when's the new phone coming out? None of that stuff matters. It's not inherently evil, but the pursuit of it and living for it is. So I want to encourage you to go out and live like a citizen of heaven, not hoity-toity, but like you are an ambassador of the one true God. Thanks for watching. I hope that was encouraging. I don't mean to bring anybody down, and we'll see you in the next video. What the fudge? Oh, that must be the Blue Angels. That was the Blue Angels. Okay, and turn and park it. Oh.